there, crafters and stampers. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be celebrating a season of joy with this gorgeous wreath card. I will show you how to make this great wreath cutout and the words joy. Absolutely beautiful. My designer Veronica made this card. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Her version uses the flower pot designer paper, which I didn't have handy, so I'm going to sub paper from the Regals Designer Series paper pack. Alright, let's get started. We're going to start by doing all of our cutting. These are the pre-cut pieces that we'll need. We'll need our card base and then our designer paper, which you can attach with some snail. And these are all the Whisper White panels we'll need. You can also get these measurements on my blog simply by going to this URL or by clicking in the link in the description below. And you can also order all of the supplies that I'm using today on my blog through those links. Alright, once you have everything cut, we're going to start by assembling our white panels together with some snail adhesive. Now I have 3 1-inch sections. They go down first. And then the 3 7/8 inch sections will go right in the center of each of the 1-inch sections. And I'll just zoom in so you can see this. This makes our panel door very, very cool. For our next step, we'll be stamping our wreath. I'm using the Wondrous Wreath stamp set and the coordinating framelits for this. All the peaches. Somebody must be hungry. All of the pieces of the stamp are made to stamp together, and I'll show you how this works. Starting with the full version of the wreath in the lighter of our greens, which is Wild Wasabi, I'm going to stamp that on some scrap white paper. You'll notice this little boy piece, I call it. It's a guide. If you always have that pointed down, everything should line up perfectly. I'm sorry, this color was pistachio, not Wild Wasabi. Wasabi is coming up next. We're inking this version of the wreath, which fits over the larger one, and I'll show you how. Again, using this little boy piece as your guide. As long as you have that facing down, everybody should line up perfectly. And it's awesome that you can see right through these photopolymer stamps, so you can see that in action. Perfect! And then inking in our real red, again, pointing the boy piece down with our holly berries. And that's all there is to that wreath. I know it looked like it should have been harder than that, and you don't have to tell anyone how easy it was. Now for cutting. Using the framelits that go with the set makes it so easy to cut this out perfectly, both the inside of the wreath and the outside. Just make sure your boy piece is pointed down just like the stamps, and then everything will line up for you. And we can run our pieces of the bow through at the same time. Our layer here is the magnetic platform that goes with the Sizzix Big Shot. 1 cutting pad, cardstock, framelit, 2nd cutting pad, and then crank it through. And this just pops right out. Awesome! While our Sizzix Big Shot is still out, I'm going to do one more framelit, and this time on some Stampin' Up silver foil paper with the word joy that came in that stamp set. And I'm putting some wax paper in between the framelit and the silver foil. The wax paper is a tip for making it super easy to peel out when we're done. It looks super cool, doesn't it? Now, because this is really thin, this is where the wax paper comes in. It has these little holes in the back of the framelit that we poke with a paper piercer. Just poke, poke, poke. Once you get the first out, it'll just peel right out, and the wax paper makes that super easy. And the wax paper will come right off. You can do it without that wax paper. That just makes it smooth like butter. Now that we have all the players, we'll do the rest of our assembly. Starting with the wreath, this little hanger's going on with some snail. I am overhanging a little bit on that. We'll trim it after. Some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our wreath. Pop it up. Pop it up, pop it up, pop it up. Pop, 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 pop it up. I wanted to pop up the bow too, but the dimensionals are wider than the bow, so I found this little edging is perfect. Just trim a little section of that off. Great way to use all the pieces of your dimensionals too. And now at this point, I'm going to stamp our season of in the center of the wreath. I wanted to wait till after I position the wreath to do that. This comes from our Endless Wishes stamp set, which is awesome. Another photopolymer clear set from Stampin' Up. And those words get stamped in black right in the center panel in the center of the wreath. Oh, joy. I used just nail on the back of that, and you can tuck in any adhesive that might show through. And that sticks right to the wreath. Trim off our overhang. And this panel sticks on our card with just some snail adhesive. And that, my friends, is our awesome Season of Joy card. Absolutely love it. Again, all the supplies and measurements you can get on my blog. as well as daily inspiration. Be sure to subscribe to my blog as well. There are hundreds of videos there, Stampin' Up! Special sales, and more. Thanks for joining me today.